Hello, once again, class. This is Daniel Cardenas, and I'm here to talk about teens that are vaping currently and that have vaped their experiences. And I'm here to persuade you. By the end of my speech, I want my audience to be persuaded to make vaping illegal amongst teenagers, as so we made marijuana, although they're trying to been legalizing it. But the alarming numbers of these related hazardous health issues due to vaping should be leading catalyst to ban vaping amongst teenagers. My name is Daniel Cardenas. And has your teenager son or daughter given you a strong impression that he or she is being influenced by peers that you have been suspicious of your teen's behavior? Especially if you notice that they are engaged in activities that you disapprove, such as vaping, or hangouts, suspicious hangouts. Have you ever thought yourself, if vaping is dangerous to my teen's health, then why don't I become an advocate to make it illegal for my teen? Today I'm going to persuade you why you should take those steps and lobby for the punishment of vaping amongst America's teenagers. My source of reference will include teensdrugabuse.org, kidshealth.org, the Surgeon General Statement.org, John Hopkins articles from the internet, and a health article called The Atlantic. All of these are very reliable sources. You can look them up yourself in your computer or smartphone at home, and as you can right now. But I want you to focus on my speech first. Vaping has ended the health of, and in some cases claimed the lives of our teenagers here in America. Here's what we need to do in order to rectify the alarming problem. It has been noted that vaping, according to kidshealth.org, 2019, said by Gordon, is the installing of vapor created by an e-cigarette via liquid cartridges. The liquid is heated and transformed into vapor, which is then heated, and the liquid contains nicotine, which is contained in most tobacco, and flavorings and other toxic chemicals. Why do teens vape, you might ask? According to a study from Johns Hopkins University in 2018, here are some reasons that were found. The heated liquid can be flavored, such as watermelon or apple pie, and many other flavors. Cinnamon roll, any flavor you could think of, they have it. Especially China, that they are the main manufacturers of these type of products because they're cheap to make, really rare chemicals, and they can duplicate as much as they want. The heated liquid, it's very hazardous for these teens, and it's believed that vaping is not as harmful as smoking, but that is simply a lie, as there's many backed up articles that I'm about to provide. E-cigarettes have a lower price per cost than traditional cigarettes, as because it has about 5,000 puffs, for $14.99, but it costs less than $1 to make one. So how hazardous do you think you could do? You can't even name the chemical that you're inhaling. It's too darn long to name. Why is vaping harmful to a teen's health? As noted in Johns Hopkins Medical Journals in 2020, May 20th, and Surgeon Statement, research shows that vaping is bad for the heart and lungs, as so is the cigarettes, which is the same thing, if not worse. I think vaping's worse, personally. It is addictive. Vaping can cause one of the most unhealthy addictions and crave a smoke, and if the cravings are ignored, one can suffer the withdrawal symptoms. If you have never experienced this withdrawal, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but those who do, it's a very terrible feeling. Nicotine used in vaping remains a toxic substance which raises our blood pressure and spikes adrenaline, which can cause a heart attack and lead to many other health problems. Vaping can harm the developmental growth and the brain during adolescence. And me, myself, I did it once by peer pressure, and I'm here to tell you, ignore those peer pressures and tell your son to not listen to those people. Now that we have established that vaping is harmful and dangerous, the question that remains is, should we fight it or ban it amongst teenagers? I strongly recommend we should ban vaping due to the following reasons that I'm about to provide. This health article from Atlantic, Hamblin, 2019, June 2. Nicotine with liquid vape effects with the cardiovascular system and the brain. Properties and nicotine can have after the nerve cells in the brain permanently. It could damage your brain permanently, which it's recent studies because vaping has not been out since like 90s 2000s. It's a new invention, so we're just so evolving and finding out what's wrong with this. On average, the numbers of deaths in 530 people hospitalized due to vaping was 12. Number of deaths are as high um, um, as 12 people in 530 doctor visits related to vaping. That was what was reported to this health article. It is clearly seen from the graph in PowerPoint that I've used here how vaping has escalated amongst 12th graders in this country, according to McPhillips 2019. Finally, some political readers have expressed their concern that have vaping seriously and have actively worked to ban it, according to ProCop and Absidi from 2020. So it's in the works, definitely. Governor Gretchen Whitmer banned vaping in the state of Michigan. That is more down here than California, but it's being worked on, obviously. Governor Andrew Cuomo has voiced support for a similar ban in the state of New York. First Lady Melania Trump, who has expressed some deep concerns with the issues of vaping amongst teens, which has persuaded President Trump to also want to ban it, since that is her wife, his wife. So sorry. And in conclusion to all of what I stated, vaping should be banned amongst teenagers and treated as illegal. For my opinion, and for everyone else, I have a following that agrees. Is it worth it to have the younger generation suffer from cardiovascular diseases, as many people already have genetically inherited high blood pressure, diabetes, and add that on top, and caffeine addiction, not to mention many other addictions? Why have this one added to our society? Respiratory problems and brain damage due to vaping? Not worth it, bro. Is it worth it to lose a life? It isn't worth it at all, if you ask me. We have seen what vaping can do and what is popular amongst teens. Why is it harmful and why should we ban it? Are there any questions? Because I know you guys still have questions. I urge you to contact your state representative and make a petition for vaping to be banned if you are interested in my speech. Let us endeavor to all do what we can do to preserve the future in generations in our communities for a teen to enjoy vaping today, but then regret what he or she did later when suffering complicated or severe health issues, which was the consequences for vaping. There's absolutely no need for another life to be tragically lost due to vaping or affected. Let us look for a bright future by being productive and proactive about preserving the health and well-being of our teenagers today. And thank you very much for being here with me today and listening to my speech. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much, class.